Curtain up, it's 4:32 a.m. In the metallic depths of the largest warship ever built, a silent alarm wakes 1,000 men and women. Boots clatter through narrow corridors, nuclear engines rumble, a dull pulsation that vibrates through the entire hull. On the flight deck, still plunged in darkness, teams are already preparing to welcome the fury of supersonic fighters. This isn't a movie, nor is it science fiction. This is the USS Gerald R. Ford. Welcome to aTech. Today, we're going on a journey aboard this floating city, 337 meters long, capable of striking anywhere on the planet in less than 48 hours. A juggernaut whose silhouette blends into the horizon, but whose power never goes unnoticed. Every square inch of this fortress is designed for efficiency, speed, and endurance. How was this marvel of engineering conceived? How do thousands of people live self-sufficiently in such a demanding environment? And above all, what are the human and technological challenges this colossus faces daily? The answers are in this video. Let's go. The Ford is, above all, a show of force, a floating message sent to every rival power on the globe. Whether in the Mediterranean, the Indian Ocean, or the South China Sea, it projects American power thousands of kilometers from its shores. It can conduct up to 160 air missions per day, or even 270 in crisis situations, exceeding the performance of its predecessors, the Nimitz-class aircraft carriers, by 25%. Its assets? 2 next-generation nuclear reactors, tripled propulsion power, and most importantly, aircraft launch and recovery systems that are entirely electromagnetic. Gone is the whistle and raw power steam catapults. Make way for the Amal's electromagnetic launch system. It's faster, smoother, and above all, lighter for the ship and less stressful for the aircraft. The AGG arresting system, also electromagnetic, allows for a soft and precise recovery. Thanks to advanced automation, the Ford carries several hundred fewer sailors than its predecessors. Fewer personnel, certainly, but more power. More discretion, too, thanks to its dual-band radars, which ensure finer detection of threats. It's a true technological leap, the fruit of more than 20 years of research and a colossal investment of over $13 billion. This concentration of innovation positions the Ford not only as the ultimate tool of war, but as a high-tech floating laboratory. Say goodbye to the immense dormitories of the past. Aboard the Ford, sailor comfort has been redesigned. They live 40 to a compartment, but in more optimized spaces. Bunk beds, individual lockers, and private showers and toilets for each module. Each section even has a small common lounge with Wi-Fi, a rare luxury in the middle of the sea. And a rare thing in the Navy, urinals have disappeared, replaced by a vacuum toilet system. Ingenious, yes, but sometimes temperamental. These systems can break down and require a specialized team to intervene, with repairs for certain sections costing up to $400,000. Every day, up to 18,000 meals are served aboard the Ford. 2 immense kitchens feed the entire crew with state-of-the-art equipment. Automatic ovens, filter-based preservation systems, and adjustable temperature refrigerators. This attention to detail contributes massively to the crew's morale during long missions far from everything. And did you know there's a veritable floating hospital on board? With its emergency department, intensive care unit, operating room, and more than 40 beds, it's capable of managing complex medical situations. A full medical team watches over the crew's health 24/7. Regarding well-being, sailors have access to several equipped gyms with group classes, libraries, and leisure spaces. Psychological support programs are also in place, with military psychologists trained in contexts of extreme stress. Up at dawn, the day starts early for the sailors. After the morning assembly, called muster, each sailor heads to their post. Impeccable uniforms, precise gestures, everything's timed. Schedules are tight and errors are rare. The days are long, often interrupted by simulated or real alerts. Some sailors work 12-hour shifts, sometimes without seeing daylight. Systems maintenance is a continuous task. In the technical decks, electricians and technicians tirelessly inspect networks, reactors, radars, and any other mechanism that could hinder the smooth operation of this giant. Nothing is left to chance. The flight deck is the beating heart of the ship. Here, aerial operations are conducted in a silent ballet using sign language. Colored t-shirts identify roles. Yellow for deck directors, red for ordnance, blue for handlers. FA-18 Super Hornets, E-2D Hawkeyes, Seahawk helicopters, everything is orchestrated like military precision choreography, a constant dance of takeoffs and landings. Training is constant and intensive. Before each mission, sailors participate in full-scale simulations, cyber attacks, enemy drones, humanitarian disasters. The training program, called Computex, Composite Training Unit Exercise, forges iron discipline and an unparalleled team spirit. These exercises prepare the crew for all eventualities, ensuring that every member can react instantly and effectively. And yet, despite this rigor and near-perfect organization, life on board is not without its difficulties. Behind the impeccably executed missions lie harsher, more human realities, because living self-sufficiently on a steel giant for months, far from loved ones, involves its share of sacrifices. The lack of space and time weighs heavily. Despite efforts for comfort, the lack of privacy remains taxing. Narrow cabins, meal queues, timed showers. Some sailors testify to a sense of mental exhaustion as the weeks go by. This prolonged confinement requires great resilience. The permanent noise of machinery, the absence of intimacy, and limited communication with families accentuate the feeling of isolation, but it's also a breeding ground for solidarity. Long missions isolate. To compensate for this prolonged absence, the crew looks forward to friends and family days where 1,700 loved ones can come aboard for a visit. These are precious moments in a life punctuated by absence, offering a much-needed emotional respite. To strengthen team spirit and combat routine, events are regularly organized on board. Barbecues on deck called steel beach picnics, intense group sports sessions, and group movie screenings. These informal times weave an unbreakable bond between crew members, transforming a simple machine of war into a true community. The ship even has a unique canine mascot, the Labrador, Captain Sage. Trained to detect stress, he comforts sailors in silence through his mere presence and affection. He's become an effective and soothing figure in this rigid and demanding universe, a faithful companion who brings a touch of humanity to the heart of the steel. Fewer in number, better housed, and better supported, the forged sailors have developed a more tight-knit collective culture. Automation has freed up time for interaction, strengthening human bonds and fostering listening and solidarity. The USS Gerald R is rarely alone. It sails with its carrier strike group, destroyers, frigates, submarines, and supply ships. Together, they form a formidable force capable of acting in all theaters of operation. The Gerald R doesn't just launch planes, it impresses, it deters, it reassures allies, it worries adversaries. It shows the American flag where diplomacy alone is no longer enough. It's the floating manifestation of power, determination, and the ability to project influence anywhere in the world. But we must not forget that behind this power hide men and women, sometimes barely adults, far from home, living to the rhythm of alarms, takeoffs, and orders. The Ford is a monster of technology, but also a concentration of humanity, a place where resilience and camaraderie are tested every day. And what if the real battlefield of the 21st century was the sea? One thing's for certain, as long as the Gerald R sails, the global balance continues to be influenced by its presence. What did you think of this immersion aboard the giant of the seas? Share your thoughts and questions in the comments. And if this video fascinated you, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any of our next videos.